What's going on here?
We have a building here. It's a pre-engineered building we're shipping off to an ISF camp.
What's ISF?
Iraqi Security Force. What we're doing here to ensure that when the building gets to the project site, we have all the parts and everything we need, we're going to assemble it here. We assemble it, mark it the way it needs to go to ensure that any shortcomings we have, we take care of here, and that way we can do an expedient job out in the project site.
The Seabees of Naval Construction Battalion 133 out of Gulfport, Mississippi, a force of about 650 men and women, have detachments all over western Iraq, the province of Al-Anbar. Mostly they undertake civil construction projects, building barracks and dining halls, but many of their projects have a more military flavor to them. When possible, the Seabees like to get out and do humanitarian work, but lately it's been impractical or impossible because of the security situation. It's just too dangerous. The only Seabees who ever really leave the major bases in Iraq, except for travel, is a small force of Seabees who escort convoys, performing the same role that Army units do, riding in up-armored Humvees with machine guns. The military occupation of Iraq requires a lot of basic construction. A lot of the places that the military moves into have been neglected for 30 years in terms of infrastructure, electricity, water, and roads. And that's where the Seabees come in. In the entire Marine Corps area of operations, it's the Seabees who build the basic infrastructure that lets an organization as sophisticated as the U.S. military function.
Ramadi is still a pretty dangerous town. I understand it's better than it was maybe a year ago, but there's still a lot of attacks on U.S. forces in the city and a lot of mortar attacks on the bases. So, and even the main Ramadi base where I was still gets the occasional mortar round. Well, more than occasionally, it gets hit almost every day. And I mean, it's 1 or 2 rounds, and it's a big base, so it's very rare that somebody is killed. But it's still pretty scary. The U.S. forces have radars there on the base that can detect the incoming rounds, so you generally have a little bit of notice if the radars catch the round coming in, and a siren will go off and everybody drops what they're doing and dives into these big concrete bunkers, and then the round explodes. Everybody, you wait a little bit, and then you count heads and go about your business. But on occasion, the mortar rounds slip through without any advance notice, and so what happens is you're working, and all of a sudden there's just a big explosion somewhere, you know, and sometimes you can't even tell what the explosion is. I mean, there's a lot of detonations in the area. There are artillery units on the base that fire out. There are explosive ordnance disposal teams that blow stuff up. There's construction going on. So you'll be sitting around, you hear an explosion. Could be a mortar, maybe it's not. But for safety's sake, you dive into the bunker anyways. And on one attack, we were actually in the middle of a barbecue just to celebrate wrapping up a lot of projects there. The Seabees were having a barbecue, had our steaks, and we're playing horseshoes and throwing a football around, and then boom, something explodes, and we all dive in. About 13, 14 of us dive into this tiny little bunker meant for maybe 6 people, and we're all lying on top of each other, just scared out of our minds. And there's something burning in the background. Apparently this mortar had hit a truck or something, and I don't think anyone was hurt.
Freelance journalist David Axe visited Camp Ramadi in Iraq earlier this year while embedded with a battalion of Navy Seabees. You can watch this or other C-SPAN programming on Iraq at any time by visiting our website. Click on the Iraq link at cspan.org.